The deepest desire isn't in what you give a man, but in how you leave him endlessly craving more of you. Ladies, let's be honest, men aren't always great at telling you what they really want, but once you figure it out, you'll have him hooked like never before. It's like knowing the cheat codes to his heart and mind. So if you've ever wanted to drive him wild and make him think about you non-stop, you're about to find out how. He'll never say it out loud, but there are secrets he craves that go far beyond the physical. It's not just about touch, it's about the way you make him feel, the fire you spark when you take control of his mind, and the bond you create that lingers long after the moment is over. Men may not always tell you what they really want, but once you know these hidden desires, you'll have him hooked, craving you, and thinking about you non-stop. And the best part is, it's easier than you think. Anticipation is everything when it comes to intimacy, and the truth is, most people overlook it because they are too focused on the outcome. They think the moment has to be perfect from the start, but what truly drives a man crazy is not what happens instantly, it's what builds up in his imagination before it even happens. Think about it, the mind is the most powerful sexual organ. When you make him wait, when you tease without giving everything away too soon, you're planting seeds in his thoughts that keep growing until he can't stop thinking about you. The secret lies in creating a rhythm of expectation where he doesn't know what's coming next, but he knows he wants it desperately. Anticipation makes everything feel more electric because it stretches time in the most pleasurable way. Imagine the difference between instantly handing someone a gift and letting them slowly unwrap it, layer by layer. The second experience always lingers longer in their mind because the excitement is stretched out, the curiosity is heightened, and the emotions are stronger. It's the same when it comes to creating desire. Instead of rushing in, slow down, let him feel your presence, let him sense your energy, and let the moment breathe. A soft touch, a playful pause, a mischievous smile. These are little signals that tell him something exciting is about to happen. The longer he waits, the more his body and mind tune into every detail, and the more intense the connection becomes. What makes anticipation so powerful is that it turns even the smallest gestures into something unforgettable. A glance that lingers a little longer than usual, a whisper that brushes against his ear, or even the feeling of your breath close to his skin. All of these become magnified when you hold back from giving too much too soon. It's like dangling a key in front of a locked door. He knows what's behind it, he craves it, but he has to earn the moment. That sense of waiting makes the reward infinitely sweeter. You're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him an experience that stays with him long after the moment is over. Men are wired to chase, and anticipation feeds directly into that instinct. It creates a game of desire where he's always leaning forward, always trying to guess your next move, always hungry for more. When you give him everything instantly, the mystery is gone. But when you hold back, even just a little, you keep the fire burning. Think of anticipation like a dance. Sometimes you step forward, sometimes you step back, and in that push and pull lies the magic that makes him completely captivated. The more you master this, the more he associates you with excitement, unpredictability, and passion. Even silence plays a role in building anticipation. Sometimes saying nothing at all speaks louder than words. A pause before you lean in, a moment where your lips hover without touching, a deliberate delay before giving him what he wants. All of this builds a tension so strong it drives him wild. That's the beauty of anticipation. It's not about rushing to the finish line. It's about making every step of the journey so irresistible that he never wants it to end. The real secret is understanding that anticipation doesn't just excite him physically, it creates an emotional bond. It shows him you are confident, in control, and aware of your own power. When you can make a man wait, when you can build that level of intensity without giving in too quickly, you make him see you as unforgettable. He will replay those moments in his mind. He will crave the way you made him feel. feel, and he will long for the next time he gets to experience it again. That's the essence of anticipation. It turns ordinary moments into unforgettable ones. It transforms desire into obsession, and it makes you the kind of woman who stays on his mind long after the night is over. Confidence is sexier than perfection, and that is a truth many women forget when they put unnecessary pressure on themselves to perform flawlessly. The idea that every move has to be perfectly executed, or that everything has to look like it came out of a movie scene, is not only unrealistic, it also takes away from the raw chemistry that makes intimacy unforgettable. A man is not sitting there with a checklist, analyzing every little detail. What truly turns him on is your energy, your boldness, and your ability to own the moment without second-guessing yourself. Confidence radiates in a way that perfection never could, because perfection feels rigid, while confidence feels alive. When you walk into an intimate space with confidence, you instantly shift the energy. You're not just there to please him, you're there to enjoy yourself, to take part in the experience, and to show that you know your worth. That kind of energy is magnetic because it tells him that you're comfortable in your own skin, and nothing is more attractive than someone who carries themselves with certainty. Confidence makes a man feel safe to let go, to surrender, and to enjoy himself fully, because he senses that you're not insecure or overthinking. He doesn't want a perfect performance. He wants someone who is fully present, fully engaged, and unapologetically herself. The truth is, men remember the way you make them feel far more than they remember any specific technique. A slip-up, a laugh, an imperfect move. These things don't ruin the moment. They make it more real and more human. Confidence means you don't freeze when something feels off or awkward. Instead, you laugh, you tease, you keep the flow going, and you don't let insecurity ruin the mood. That playfulness is what keeps the moment alive. Perfection might impress for a second, but confidence lingers in his memory because it makes him feel connected to you in a genuine way. Think of it like dancing. If someone is too focused on every step being exact, the dance feels stiff and mechanical. But when someone dances with freedom, even if their steps aren't perfect, they're captivating because their energy is infectious. It's the same with intimacy. When you focus less on doing everything perfectly and more on embracing the moment, your natural rhythm and passion take over. That freedom creates chemistry, and chemistry is always more powerful than perfection. Confidence also communicates desire in a way that perfection never could. When you're confident, you're not afraid to take initiative, to make eye contact, to guide the pace, or to show him exactly how much you're enjoying yourself. That's what makes him weak for you. A man craves the feeling that you want him just as much as he wants you, and when your confidence shines through, it reassures him that he's desired. That reassurance creates a feedback loop. Your confidence excites him, his response fuels you, and the cycle keeps building stronger and stronger until the connection becomes electric. What makes confidence truly irresistible is that it removes the need for validation. When you're confident, you're not constantly worrying about whether he approves of everything you're doing. You already know your worth, and you're not waiting for his reaction to prove it. That independence drives him crazy because it shows that you're choosing to be there, not needing to be there. It gives him the thrill of being with someone who could walk away at any moment but chooses to stay, and that choice makes him value you even more. Confidence is the reason why imperfect moments often become the most memorable. A teasing smirk, a playful laugh, a bold move that surprises him, those things are what stick in his mind, not flawless choreography. He won't remember if every detail was smooth, but he will remember how powerful you felt in the moment and how much that confidence drew him in. When you embrace yourself fully, flaws and all, you stop trying to perform and start creating a genuine experience. That is what makes a man obsessed, not some unattainable idea of perfection. It is confidence that takes an ordinary encounter and turns it into something extraordinary. Pace and rhythm create obsession because they turn an an intimate moment into a journey rather than a destination. A man doesn't want the entire experience to feel predictable, and that's where rhythm becomes the secret weapon. When everything happens at one speed, whether too fast or too slow, it loses intensity. But when you create shifts, when you alternate between lingering and teasing moments with bursts of intensity, you awaken his senses in a way that keeps him hooked and desperate for more. This is not about rushing through the moment, but about understanding how to control the tempo so he never quite knows what's coming next. That unpredictability keeps him on edge, and being on edge is what fuels desire. The human body reacts strongly to contrast. Think about music. If a song stayed at the exact same note and beat from beginning to end, it would be flat and forgettable. But add in highs, lows, pauses, and crescendos, and suddenly the music comes alive, carrying you with it emotionally and physically. Intimacy works the same way. The rhythm you create is like music for his body and mind. A slow build makes him ache with anticipation, while a sudden shift catches him off guard and floods him with excitement. By learning to play with pace, you're essentially composing an unforgettable experience where every movement, pause, and change keeps him addicted to the moment. What makes pace so powerful is the way it intensifies sensation. When you move slowly, you heighten his awareness. Every touch feels magnified, every breath feels deliberate, and every second stretches longer in his mind. That slow pace makes him hyper-aware of the moment, almost begging for more. Then, when you switch to a faster rhythm, the contrast hits him hard. His body responds instantly, his breath quickens, and the excitement skyrockets. That back and forth between slow and fast is what creates waves of pleasure rather than a straight line. It keeps his emotions and body tied to your lead, making him crave your control and your unpredictability. Another part of rhythm is knowing when to pause. Stillness can be just as powerful as motion because it leaves him hanging in the space between what has happened and what he knows is about to happen. Those tiny pauses, those moments when you stop just short of giving him what he wants, drive him insane in the best way possible. The pause is not an interruption, it's a tease. It reminds him that you're the one in control of the tempo, and it forces him to stay fully present, hanging on your every move. He can't drift off or lose focus because the rhythm doesn't allow it. You've set the beat, and he has no choice but to follow it. The beauty of mastering pace and rhythm is that it creates not just physical obsession, but mental obsession too. When he looks back, he won't just remember what you did, he will remember how it felt to be taken on a ride that he couldn't predict. That unpredictability is intoxicating because it makes you stand out. Anyone can be predictable, but not everyone can play with rhythm in a way that makes the entire experience feel alive. That uniqueness is what he keeps replaying in his mind, the reason he thinks about you long after the moment has ended. Men crave excitement, but not the kind that comes from rushing. They crave excitement that comes from being surprised, from not knowing exactly what's next, but loving every second of the journey. When you switch up the rhythm, when you control the pace, you show him that you know how to take the lead in ways that keep him hungry for more. You're not just giving him pleasure, you're creating an addictive cycle of highs and lows that he doesn't want to escape from. That is why pace and rhythm matter so much. They turn ordinary intimacy into an obsession that lingers in his body and his memory, leaving him eager to experience it again and again. Using all the senses is one of the most overlooked yet powerful secrets when it comes to creating unforgettable intimacy. Most people limit themselves to touch alone, believing that physical connection is enough, but the truth is, desire becomes far more intense when every sense is involved. A man doesn't just want to feel you, he wants to hear you, smell you, see you, and taste you. When you awaken all of these senses, you don't just create a moment, you create a full-body experience that imprints itself on his memory. It becomes something he replays long after it's over, because it wasn't just physical, it was immersive. Sound, for example, has an almost hypnotic effect. A whisper in his ear, the sound of your breath quickening, or even the small involuntary sounds that escape you in the heat of the moment. All of these stir his imagination and heighten his arousal. Men are incredibly responsive to sound because it gives them reassurance that you're enjoying yourself, and that reassurance turns them on more than anything else. A simple moan, a sigh, or even playful words can take him to another level. Your voice, your breath, and your tone become instruments that play directly into his emotions and desires. Sight is just as powerful. Eye contact can send shivers down his spine because it communicates confidence, presence, and intimacy without a single word. Looking at him at just the right time can make him feel desired in a way nothing else can. Beyond eye contact, small visual details matter. The way you carry yourself, the expressions you make, the subtle movements that show your confidence, all of these become images he cannot forget. Men are highly visual creatures, and when you use sight intentionally, you engrave those images in his mind. He will recall them vividly when he's alone, and they will pull him back to you again and again. Then there's the power of touch, which is the sense most people already focus on, but often use too predictably. Touch doesn't always have to be direct or obvious. Sometimes the lightest brush of your fingertips, the grazing of your nails, or even the warmth of your body close to his without fully touching can send stronger signals than heavy contact. Varying the intensity of touch, from featherlight to firmer, from teasing to assertive, keeps him guessing and heightens his sensitivity. The skin becomes alive when it doesn't know what's coming next, and that unpredictability makes every touch feel more electric. Taste plays its role in ways that are often underestimated. A kiss is not just a kiss when it's given with full presence. The slow exploration, the way you savor it, the passion you put behind it, all of these deepen the experience. A man will remember the taste of your kiss because it's tied to the emotion of the moment. It can be playful, it can be fiery, or it can be soft and lingering, but whichever way you give it, when it's intentional, it becomes unforgettable. Taste adds an intimate layer that ties him even closer to you because it's so deeply personal. Finally, scent has a way of leaving the strongest imprint. Smell is the sense most closely tied to memory, which means the scent of your skin, your hair, your perfume, or even the natural fragrance of your body in that moment can become an anchor in his mind. He may not consciously realize it, but later on, when he catches a similar scent, it will take him right back to you and the way you made him feel. That association is powerful because it lingers long after the experience ends, keeping you in his thoughts even when you're not around. When all 5 senses are awakened, you're not just creating pleasure, you're creating a memory that cannot be replaced. A man can forget techniques, but he cannot forget how you made him feel when every part of his body and mind was engaged. By combining sight, sound, touch, taste, and scent, you transform intimacy into an experience that stays alive long after it's over. That is how you make him crave you, not just in the moment, but endlessly in his imagination. Knowing when to pull back is one of the most powerful secrets you can master because it leaves a man in a state of longing that no amount of intensity alone could ever achieve. The natural instinct for many is to give more, to keep building until the peak is reached. But what truly creates obsession is restraint. When you understand the art of pulling back, you take control of his imagination. You make him chase you even in the moments when you are right there in front of him. And that chase is what makes the experience unforgettable. A man doesn't become addicted to what he can have all at once. He becomes addicted to what is given in doses, in fragments, in little pieces that keep him wanting more each time. The beauty of pulling back lies in contrast. Imagine feeding someone their favorite food and then taking the plate away before they're fully satisfied. What happens is not frustration, but a burning desire to get that taste again. The same applies to intimacy. When you give him just enough to feel overwhelmed with pleasure and then ease away, you create a hunger that lingers in his body and mind. He becomes restless, eager, and deeply focused on you because you are no longer predictable. You are not just offering him an experience, you are leaving him suspended between satisfaction and craving. That state is addictive because it engages not only his body, but his psychology. Pulling back is not rejection, it is control. It shows him that you know the power you hold and that you are not afraid to use it. Most men expect that once desire starts building, it will move in a straight line to its conclusion. But when you slow down, pause, or step away just as things get intense, you interrupt the expected pattern. That interruption jolts his attention, heightens his focus, and forces him to lean into you even harder. He cannot drift or lose interest because you've taught him that the moment with you is unpredictable, and unpredictability is what keeps passion alive. What makes this so intoxicating is how it amplifies the emotional side of intimacy. When you pull back, you create space for his imagination to take over. In that space, he wonders what you'll do next, when you'll return, and how far you'll take him once you do. His mind begins to race, replaying the last thing you gave him, building fantasies around what could come next. This mental obsession is just as powerful, if not more so, than the physical part. It ensures that you don't just exist in the moment with him, you exist in his thoughts long after you're gone. Timing is everything when it comes to pulling back. It's not about withholding completely or leaving him cold. It's about choosing the exact moment when the tension is high and then creating space that allows the tension to stretch further. That pause could be a playful smile, a sudden stillness, or even physically moving away for a moment. It could be silence where he expects sound, or eye contact without touch. The form doesn't matter as much as the timing. By pulling back at the right moment, you intensify what has already been built. You're not diminishing the desire, you're multiplying it by holding it hostage just when he is desperate for more. Another reason this works so effectively is because it taps into his natural instinct to pursue. Men are wired to chase, and when you give him everything all at once, the chase ends too quickly. But when you pull back, even subtly, you reignite his instinct to lean forward, to work harder, to show you more of his energy. He feels the thrill of pursuit, and you remain the one he is striving toward. This creates a dynamic where you are not only desired, but also valued because he has to put effort into keeping up with you. That effort deepens his investment and makes the connection more meaningful to him. Pulling back also communicates confidence in the most seductive way. It shows him that you are not desperate to please or rushing to prove yourself. You know your worth, you know the effect you have on him, and you are comfortable enough to pause and let him sit with his hunger for you. That confidence is irresistible because it separates you from anyone who feels the need to give everything instantly. You are not afraid of space, silence, or stillness because you know those things work in your favor. He will sense that, and it will make him see you as unforgettable. The brilliance of knowing when to pull back is that it turns intimacy into an ongoing story rather than a single event. You are not just sharing a moment with him, you are creating a narrative that leaves him anticipating the next chapter. Every time you step away at the height of intensity, you plant a seed that grows into desire, curiosity, and longing. That seed makes him return to you in his thoughts, in his fantasies, and in his craving for more of your energy. He becomes addicted not to perfection or performance, but to the mystery and control you bring. That is what keeps him hooked, what makes him replay the moments with you, and what ensures that he never feels fully satisfied because with you, there is always more to want. When you master the art of pulling back, you master the art of leaving a mark that lingers far beyond the physical. cycle, you become unforgettable, not because you gave everything, but because you knew how to stop just short, leaving him caught in the sweet tension between desire and fulfillment. That tension is the hook that makes him think about you long after the night has ended, long after the room has gone quiet, and long after he should have moved on. It is the space you create, not just the pleasure you give, that makes you impossible to forget. The truth is, what makes a man obsess over you is not perfection, not some flawless performance, but the way you make him feel when you step into your power and own the moment. Anticipation keeps him on edge. Confidence makes you unforgettable. Rhythm turns intimacy into an addiction. Using all the senses engraves you in his memory, and knowing when to pull back leaves him craving more long after the moment has passed. Together, these secrets don't just create desire, they create an experience that lingers in his mind and body, one he will replay again and again, because it's rare, it's powerful, and it's uniquely you. When you embrace these truths, you stop trying to impress and start creating connection. You become not just a woman he desires in the moment, but the woman he cannot get out of his head, the one he craves endlessly, and the one he never forgets.